while there are many different contributing factors to the stressors in our lives, one of the things that have come up in the last few years is what is generally called Zoom fatigue. And in this case, Zoom is used as a generic term. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the company, but we're talking about any platform that provides the opportunity to connect via video conferencing. Before the pandemic, if you think back, video conferencing was something that was used fairly infrequently. It seems like phone conferencing or conference call, as they're formally known, would be much more likely to happen than video conferencing. Not many companies invested in the technology to have video conferences, and there weren't as many platforms available for that. The technology didn't exist, but of course, with the pandemic came the need for us to connect via video, and Zoom, along with other platforms, came about and became readily available for everybody. So that's how everybody connected. And now, after the pandemic is over, many people continue to work remotely. And we have collectively embraced this technology for its convenience and its ease. So we continue to use video conferencing not only for work, but also in our personal lives. Think about connecting with friends or family who live far away. Using video conferencing is such an easy way to do this. You can do it right on your phone. You can attend events virtually. So while there are plenty of events that are happening in person, many, if not most of them, also offer a virtual option where you don't have to travel. So it saves you time and money, but still allows you to join an event. So think about how much we engage in video conferencing. But unfortunately, we've gone from using that format of communication fairly seldomly to using it all the time, and now we continue to use it, maybe less so than we did during the pandemic, but we still use it. And what we're finding is people are reporting what is called Zoom fatigue. And again, Zoom is being used as a generic term. This has nothing to do with that specific company, but rather refers to any platform that offers video conferencing. So if you think about how much time you potentially spend on video calls or video conferences, this could take up the vast majority of your day, or a good chunk of your day. Maybe not every day, but some days. Think about how many times you have these calls scheduled back to back where you're not taking a break. You're just going from one call to the next to the next. And you may end up sitting at your desk staring at the screen for hours on end. This is not only difficult for your body physically, because now your body is stuck in a sitting position without a break, which is tremendously difficult. It's stressful for the body, and it's fatiguing for the body. You're tiring your eyes. Think about staring at the screen from one call to the next. You're making eye contact, you're talking to people. So it's not like it's something passive. It's very active for your eyes. So the eyes are getting tired, they're getting fatigued. Your mind can feel like it's fried by the time you finish with all of these video conferencing calls, all these Zoom calls. Your mind can feel like it can't take one more. So think about yourself and your own experience and consider how much this kind of communication may be contributing to your own stress. Once again, this is a technology that bloomed when we needed it the most, and it's convenient, and it's affordable, and it's easy, and it's wonderful. But as with most things, maybe everything, if we overuse it, it's going to have a negative effect on us. And something that is easy and convenient and a great addition to our experience many times can become a stressor for you. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to this, because if in your own experiences you're going from one call to the next, to the next, to the next, you're scheduled back to back, you're not taking breaks, you're not standing up, you're not stretching your body, relaxing your body, giving your eyes a break, giving your mind a break, then this is just an additional stressor to your life's experience. And we don't need any more stressors. You already know that. And it's particularly a shame when something that is meant to be helpful, something that is meant to be a great tool, and it is, ends up turning into something that is detrimental to your experience. So this goes back to your own awareness of it. Where are you in terms of Zoom calls or video conferencing calls on any platforms? Whether we're talking on your computer, your tablet, your phone, whatever technology you're using, where are you with that? Do you have some days which are just heavily scheduled with this kind of experience to the point where at the end of the day you're struggling to stand up from your chair because you've been sitting all day? Think about that. I know that this is a reality for many of you watching this. It may not be a reality for everybody, but plenty of you feel the physical pain of just sitting there from one call to the next to the next. And then, of course, this just adds to your overall stress. Your body's stressed, your mind is stressed. It's one more thing on the list of stressors, and we don't need that. So what can you do about it, right? First, you have to become aware. Second of all, what can you do about it? Are there times where you can decide when the call is, when the meeting is? See if you can schedule it so that you don't do back to back for multiple experiences. Take a break in between these calls. Stand up, stretch your body, walk around, have some water, refocus your eyes. Maybe look at something off in the distance as a way of focusing your eyes in a different way, in a new way, other than what you've been staring at, whatever screen you've been staring at for all this time. If you have the ability to schedule these calls in such a way that there are actual breaks in between them, that is ideal. Or if you can schedule these calls on different days so that you don't have more than one or two during the day, that would be a great alternative as well. And I realize that sometimes when you're not in charge of scheduling these things, you may simply be stuck, but consider other things such as standing or getting yourself one of those desks. If you're doing these calls at a desk on a computer, you may want to invest in one of those desks that allows you to move your desktop up and down, so you can either sit at your desk or stand at your desk. That will give you a good option. If you're using a laptop or a phone or a tablet, then that gives you more opportunity to stand up and maybe move around. But of course, you have to be considerate when you do that, because if you've ever been on one of these calls and you have someone who's constantly moving around and moving their electronic piece, whether that's their tablet or phone or laptop, it can be very distracting for everyone else. So you have to be cognizant of that. After all, we want to be a considerate, polite society, not selfish and oblivious society. So take advantage of any ability that you may have to change your position, to stand up, to stretch, but be mindful so that you're not being distracting to other people on these calls while you do that. Simple things, but you have to start somewhere, and the beginning is by realizing whether this is your experience, whether this is stressing you out. And it is. If it is, what can you do about it? Can you be in charge of the scheduling? Or if not, can you be in charge of your ergonomics, where you have the ability to sit at some point, stand at some point, stretch, things like that. So take that into consideration. Remember, technology is great. It allows us to have so many conveniences, but the key is not to let it take over so that we become dependent or slaves to it, and we are limiting ourselves in other ways because of it and causing more stress, bringing more stress into our lives. So remember, it's up to you to deal with these things and deal with them, handle them properly in a way that serves you. And it starts with awareness. If you'd like to learn more about a comprehensive approach to stress management, check out the link below.